Experience tranquility. Pass into the iris.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Iris Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Yeti. Joining me tonight, we have the usual suspects. We have two on this side, whatever side it is on your screen, because I don't know directions. That's Bard. That's NPC right there. Over here is Thug. And joining us tonight, the commissioner of the Tranquility Community, Cavalier. Welcome, Cav.
Oh,
Welcome,
hey,
Cav. Nice
how are
shirt.
ya?
Nice shirt.
Oh,
I like your
yeah.
shirt. That's very nice.
Yeah,
nice.
sometimes you gotta stay neutral.
Exactly. You don't want to show favoritism
Yeah.
or anything like that. Right, Thug?
No,
right, Thug? Right, Thug?
The NFL hat.
They're not in here anymore. They're not in the league.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
In
All right.
memoriam.
Well, welcome, guys. I know a lot of you are here for the Season 6 information. Hold tight. Hold tight. We're going to have more. We'll get there. We're going to talk a little bit about some other stuff before we get to the Season 6 dump here very shortly. So I know a lot of you are looking forward to that information. Information is going to be out very shortly, guys. So be out and just be ready with that in just a second. But first, I think it's time for a bit of congratulations. That's right. We have our first champion this season, and that is in our Transcendence tier, Tempo. Team that, honestly, I don't think anybody saw coming at the beginning of the season. Tempo comes up with the massive win in the finals over Good Boys, taking that one 4-1. Good Boys, excellent season as well, coming in second. A team, I don't think anybody expected them to finish second. Kudos to them as well on an amazing season. So
I didn't expect him to finish the season.
Bard, your thoughts on the finals?
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. So I want to we're talking about this trans final, which was kind of nuts. Honestly, this is the second year of trans and the second year of just blistering pace on the finals. Last season, I'm pretty sure it was a 4-0 for Second Chance. This season, a 4-1 for Tempo. So fingers crossed next season, we'll see more than 5 maps. That being said, really well played from Tempo. Great effort from Good Boys. They didn't give up the entire time. A lot of close maps. We had some really close games and some really long pauses. But unfortunately for Good Boys, they just couldn't keep up with the tempo of the team they were playing against. I had to do it. It had to happen.
Did you?
We all knew it. We all knew it had to happen.
God.
It had to happen. We can move on. Anyway, yeah, I don't really think that there is any one standout. We had not Rialto, Havana, where DeWaffle was putting on an absolute clinic on the Zarya. Brad throughout the entire, not just because his name sounds like mine, by the way, guys. I saw that in chat. He was pogging the whole time. Brad absolutely killed it on the hit scan, as well as flexing around onto the Echo and then just copying the enemy hit scan and killing everyone anyway. Really just incredible gameplay coming out from Tempo. And honestly, a fantastic showing from Good Boys as well. Mm-hmm. They deserve recognition for it. They did really, really well throughout the season, kind of slept on. And honestly, I think trans tier, the fact that the number 1 seed won and the number 2 seed took second, kind of none of our brackets really should have been as boomed as they were, I don't think. So really just huge congrats to both teams. They did absolutely fantastic. It
was a really good match. It was a lot of fun to watch. Tempo came out, and honestly, I think they answered a lot of early critics who said maybe they aren't the most deserving number 1 seed. I think going into the playoffs, very few of us had any expectation that Tempo was going to take it. I think a lot of us were favoring Pogfish. Some of us favored the 11th seed for some reason. Some of us, we do like dirt, but I'm just saying there's a lot of doubters on Tempo, but Tempo definitely answered all of the challenges coming up against them in the Transcendence tier. So congratulations, Tempo, your first champion of season 5, the Transcendence tier champion. Let's get now off to a couple other matches that we had last week. We had the Indigo side finals in the Discord tier. Thug, rap for us, Habaneros, Joey Esports.
Habaneros Joey Esports it's a really solid match. It was 4-0 in the favor of the Habaneros, but in classic Iris podcast fashion, it was a close 4-0. And it really was. A lot of these maps went head to head, really neck and neck. I recommend go back and try to find a VOD and watch the King's Row. King's Row was a back and forth affair. It was phenomenal. Habaneros won it, but I don't think it was anything that that was done poorly by Joey Esports. Habaneros just executed their plan much better. There was nothing Joey Esports could do. The alt tracking, the execution of the alts, the comboing was just perfect. You could tell it was a team that really knew what they wanted to do and what they were going to do. So go back, watch Kings Row, Joey Esports versus Habaneros. And Habaneros, kind of a sneaky run here. It's a team that we didn't talk a whole hell of a lot about.
It shouldn't be sneaky, and that's the
Sneaky
sad
to
thing.
everyone.
It's one of those-
Yeah.
No, they're really, really good. We just didn't talk what we did. We
Right.
talked about Mix and how bad he was, but that's literally all we talked about. And then they kind of there wasn't like a big storyline with them. Like nothing was hyper intriguing. And so they kind of flew under the radar and crushed it. So, good run.
For me with the Habaneros, always the thing was for me is you have a lot of players jumping from Harmony to Discord. We saw Mix making the jump Harmony to Discord. We saw Trippy Cow moving from a Harmony DPS to Discord tank. We saw Waffleman moving from Harmony DPS to Discord DPS. That's a lot of people suddenly moving up. We saw Chimanzi moving away from DPS, getting into off tank. We saw a lot of people changing roles with this team. I don't think a lot of people expected them to have this run that they have. And in addition to the fact that they're not only in the finals right now, they haven't lost a map this playoffs yet.
Nope.
That's the
dominant.
That's the crazy thing. They haven't dropped a map. So whoever's up against them, for those of you who haven't been talking about Habaneros, if you aren't talking about Habaneros as a favorite, no matter who they're up against next week, you're making a huge mistake. Because Habaneros are the clear #1 team right now. So
we spent a lot of time on Exodus and a lot of time on Tailwind and a lot of time on those teams, and Habaneros just squeaked their way in. It's probably how they wanted it because they don't talk about us. It's fine. We'll show up. And we'll show up in the stat sheet. We'll show up in the standings, and they did.
True.
I'll let you know. I grew some habaneros in my garden this summer.
Were they heckin'?
They were really spicy. Like, I wouldn't want to go against the habaneros because too many of those. Let's just say I'm gonna have some problems.
You're gonna have some heckin' problems. I would say
Problems.
big old heckin' problems. So heckin' Habaneros.
Hashtag analysis right there, everybody.
Heckin'
This is why we have
Habaneros.
Cab join us.
Off to the grand finals in the Discord tier. Let's get to the other match that was featured last week, the Thursday recorded feature between Flashbacks and Jetpack Cats. NPC, can you wrap that one for us?
Yeah. Captain Jack and I tried to cast this one off of VODs and little replay codes. And I want to tell everybody out there, if you're playing games and playing custom games and you feel like, you want it to be featured, do not end the game early. Like, watch the play of the game, watch the cards, watch everything, and let it take you back to the lobby manually. Because if you end early, then the VOD actually cuts off early. It's a weird thing, but we ended up missing the last, 30 to 60 seconds of the last two maps because they weren't included on the VOD. Yep. So definitely, if you know your game, if you even suspect that your game may be featured and you want to see those replay codes, be sure to finish that lobby all the way. But we went into it knowing that the score was going to be 4-2 for Flashbacks. We knew that was going in, but really, casting the game and watching the game, it was a treat. It really was. Oasis was 2-0. Flashbacks, kind of the Jetpack Cats. They didn't really know what they were doing just yet. They had to take a minute. But Volskaya is where the Jetpack Cats came back. They just blew through Volskaya. Ended up capping both points with 4 minutes in the time bank. It was ridiculous. And then Flashbacks just kept trying to take second point, kept taking second point. They got to 91%, ended up losing in overtime. It was nuts. Eichenwald, that was, Flashbacks ended up holding real hard right there. Jetpack Cats only got 35%, and then Flashbacks came in and just capped it real easy. Rialto was 2-0. Flashbacks, once again, it got to a point where the Jetpack Cats kept leaving the cart in a position that was not advantageous for them to either attack or defend. The respawns were coming in just too quickly for the Flashbacks at every single team fight they had. Lijiang Tower, that was another 2-0, but a close 2-0, 99-99 on both Control Center and Night Market. It was so close. But we ended up seeing some clutch play there, off-tank play, specifically from Kiddo on the Sigma. There was at least once he got pushed off the map, used his Sigma Gravitic Flux to fly back onto the map, and then grabbed the enemy and slammed them back down. So it stalled quite a bit with that one play. That was pretty big. And then Kings Row, Kings Row ended up going to the flashbacks, but it was ridiculously long. Jetpack Cats pushed through all the way, all 3 points, finished the whole map with 3 minutes and 59 seconds. Then flashbacks turned around with the exact same answer, came back, capped a point, pushed the whole thing, and completed the map with 4 minutes and 33 seconds left on the time bank. So it brought them back down to 2 minutes and 2:33. So we didn't get to see the full 6-6 or 9-9 like I wanted to see. But it ended up 5-4 flashbacks. Once again, a situation where the Cats just they got the payload into a spot that the spawn advantage wasn't in their favor, and then they lost control of the cart, and flashbacks were able to come back a little bit faster. But it was just fantastic. We got to see Swirly Hawk in those beautiful Dallas fuel skins on almost every off tank, doing some real work there. Getting full value out of those fuel skins. But really, the shining star there, I think, was Nova and Cry. Nova on the Pharah and Cry on the Mercy. Just the Pharmacy combo was so strong. And the only time the Jetpack Cats even like stood a chance was when they were running the double hit scan. They had to pull out the Ash and McCree or something similar just to keep. They couldn't even kill them. They just had to keep them out of position. And that was the tough. Like, Cry doesn't die. That's what I'm going to say from now on. Whenever Jetpack Cats would bring out a Pharah, a Pharmacy of their own, we had Seraph switching over to the hit scan DPS, just taking them down every single time. We got to see a lot of great plays coming out of Jetpack Cats. We got to see Blood Hungry doing some fantastic work on that main tank, like taking lots of space. Kiddo, like I said, great Sigma plays, great off tank plays. Sensa and Pudge doing some work on the DPS, and Mudkip trying to keep them all alive. It just didn't happen, but it was a very close 4-2. Definitely a really good game. I enjoyed casting it. I kind of wish I got to see the last 30 seconds, but congratulations to the flashbacks. They proved why they're, this is the number 1 and number 2 seeds going at it, and number 1 seed, we're gonna see it, and we're gonna find out who they face on Wednesday. So it'll be a big game.
Will be a big match, no question about that. I've seen a few people asking, like, hey, did I miss anything? Did I miss anything? And a lot of you are probably here just waiting for the info dump, and I understand that. We will get that to you. We wanted to wrap up some of the stuff from the playoffs last week, talk about what's coming up this coming week. We're going to do the info dump shortly here. Just stay tuned. Also, if you have giveaway entries you want to get in, those will close at the end of the info dump today, and at that point the drawing will take place. So make sure to get your giveaway entries in now. Giveaway is for a free t-shirt from the Tranquility Community Store, so be sure to get those in right away if you want that. It's 1,000 channel points. We give them away like hotcakes.
As you can see them going.
Yep, there they all go.
There they all go.
Excellent work, graphics, everybody. Yeah. Good job. All right, in memoriam. I know a couple people asked for that as well. Next week we'll wrap in memoriam. So
yeah, we're gonna do all the teams at once.
We're trying to just get through things because we want to get to see. There's gonna be we want to leave time for questions. That's the important thing. For sure. All right. Flashbacks big win. They await the winner of this match coming up here, which we're going to do a quick prediction on. That is Doodles taking on Modify. Sounds like this match is taking place on Wednesday. We will be featuring this match. So Doodles versus Modify. Bard, who's your favorite in this one?
Oh, that's a hard one.
Okay, skipping Bard.
They're both such good teams.
Skipping Bard. NPC, who was your favorite on this one?
I gotta go Modify. I mean, I've been predicting Modify this whole time. I got the shirt and everything. Doodles, a great team, kind of a sleeper team coming out of nowhere, doing a really good job of like flying under the radar and not getting talked about, not making a bunch of noise. But they really are a scary good team. But I really think Modify is going to take this one. I want to see Modify, and I want to see the number 1 seeds, right? I want to see Modify flashbacks.
Thug, where do you stand?
I'm also looking for Modify to win this one. Again, dude, I echo a lot with what NPC says. It's Modify's until it isn't, man. Modify has been nothing short but dominant, and Doodle's really going to have to pull some stuff out that's unexpected, if you would say that, and really try to find a weakness that a lot of people haven't found in Modify. So I'm going to say probably it's going to be a victory that's probably going to be 4-0-4-1, but yeah.
Cav, I know you're a prediction god, so where do you stand on
I'm not a prediction god. I barely know what I'm talking about.
Same.
It's amazing that all you people seem to be here.
You fit right in.
Exactly. Welcome.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the incumbent. I'm going to go with Modify. but I think, they could have a little bit of hubris there and maybe not take it too seriously. I'm looking at this guy,
Hashtag sandbagging.
Yeah. So,
Sandbagging,
I'm not putting Doodles out, but I think they got their work cut out for them.
Yep.
I was a little torn on this one personally, but I'm going to go with Doodles. And I do believe that Doodles has a lot of answers to modify that I'm sure Bard is aware of because they played them relatively recently.
Yep.
It's not like they haven't played Doodles in the past month because they did. That was their last game of the regular season, I believe, and it was a great match. It was a close match, which I believe was a 2-1.
3-0.
3-0?
We had a draw.
You had a draw, but it
course
was
you did.
3-0.
A draw.
Now
Bard will C9 to get that draw.
Made it into comms,
could've
Jack.
He jumped off the map just to get the draw.
There's a lot of really talented players on this team. I look specifically at Lucio Is Daddy to be a huge impact on this one. I also would look at Blue Blitz. Both of them really good players. They've shined all season. They just have, and they've been super under the radar. I could totally see Doodles Sweet taking this one, and I predicted them in the finals before, so I just gotta stick to my guns. Just gonna do that. I'm not gonna be one of those people to switch. So, that's where I stand on that. So, anyways, the last match before we get into the season 6 info dump here, guys. Exodus versus Flying Lions. This will also take place on Wednesday. We won't be featuring it, but it will take place Wednesday. Bard, what do you think about this one?
See, here's the thing. I on my near perfect roster, if I do say so myself, I had predicted Exodus and Heckin' Habaneros in the finals, but this is a really a tough one to call here. Flying Lions are map 7 champions. They seemingly are undefeatable when you get to the late game. So I think it comes down to the first 3 maps. And if Exodus can clean sweep the first 3 maps, it's theirs, no matter how many maps it goes. But if we start going back and forth, if it's like 2-1 or even 1-1 after 3 maps, I'm gonna give it to Flying Lions. So I'm gonna I'm gonna trust Exodus to close it out quickly in like a 4-1. But if it goes long, I'm putting my money on Flying Lions.
NPC, I know you have a specific bias here.
I have a little bit of a bias. So the thing is, I like Exodus, and I like what Bard said about, just Flying Lions have the roster to switch players in and out and take breaks and be fresh. Exodus have exactly 6 players, and that means that they're going to be playing every single map, and they're going to get exhausted, and they're going to get tired. And that might happen. But here's the real thing is that Exodus, I don't think they have the team cohesion that they need because they can't decide if their mascot is a shark or not. It's definitely a shark, but there are some people that just they just don't believe it. And when your own team can't come together on what your logo is, then I think
it's everybody but Cryptic.
Look,
Yeah.
I've heard that it might be a
Pretty
swordfish.
sure it's everybody.
So I
but
think we should
Cryptic.
weigh our options here.
Right. And just to be sure. So I really don't know, but I do think the Flying Lions can take this. I love the underdog story. Once again, another group of players that came from Harmony tier. Several of them, a couple of them, maybe even like below the roster floor right now for that tier. And they're still making an impact, and they're doing a good job, and they've got good, solid coaching and tactics. I see Flying Lions taking it in a very long game. I want to see map 7, map 8. I want to see it.
Thug,
Of course you do.
Thug,
Of course
Of course I do.
Where are you at on this one, Thug?
Flying Lions is a cute story. It's adorable to see them pushing this far. No one expected it, but I just don't see it, man. I see Exodus being just a superior team. It's a team that's been there. It's a team that's had big maps and big matches before, and they rise to the occasion, especially come playoffs. And yeah, shark, leviathan, freaking swordfish, electric eel, whatever it is.
Is it a pogfish?
Huh?
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
It is
I'm
not.
not saying it's not. No.
It's too strange, dude. He's still in mourning.
He's still in mourning.
Cats don't like water.
True.
But
Yeah,
sharks don't
sharks don't
fly,
like the
Cats also eat fish.
and they don't fly.
Sharks are
They
fish.
don't
don't fly.
sharks, bro.
You know, I think we're missing
They
the
got
more
freaking
things
lasers
here.
on their head.
All right, Cav, where do you stand on this one?
Okay, this is how I'm thinking about it right now. So what we got is we got the flying lion. Like, let's call them a griffin because that's kind of what they are. So like we're gonna call the flying lion's coming over here, the griffin, right? And then out of nowhere, you're gonna have Exodus come, which is the shark, and then it's just gonna go "Rah!" and then take it under the water. And I don't think flying lions is able to recover. That's analysis. That's science.
That's
I mean,
science.
can we have
yeah.
Cav on more of these?
Sounds horrifying.
That makes about as much sense as anything I've said in the last like 8 weeks. Can we have Cav on more of these?
Sounds horrifying, but
Yeah.
okay.
This is
I
science,
mean,
guys. Pure science.
that's just
Yeah.
science right there.
That's science.
I'm going
For
flying.
Americans, though, we don't believe in science.
I am a believer in the flying lions. When you all doubted them
He believes in
the,
flying lions.
in the
So
in the round of 16, I vividly remember all of you saying that Tempest was going to just wipe the floor with the Flying Lions. That even NPC and Captain Jack, disregarding their own damn family, said they will pick against them and pick Tempest. Yet I stood strong with the Flying Lions because I do not the cat. And in this case, I still do not the cat. And I pick Flying Lions to win. I think it's going to be a 4-1 victory.
Ooh.
I think it's going to be a big win for the Flying Lions. So that's
that's an authority win.
that's an authority
yeah.
win. That is a put on notice to the habaneros that just so you know, cats don't taste capsaicin.
That's beating somebody up on your first
So-
day of prison kind of win.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. I know all of you have been waiting for this, and we're going to go ahead and hop into it now. Season 6, a lot of questions have been asked, and there's some questions that have been answered already. We're going to dump all this information out for you now. While we're going through this, we're not going to be answering questions. We might throw in some like side comments here and there from myself, NPC, or Thug. This is mostly just going to be Cav kind of running down the information, upcoming changes. Bard is going to be collecting questions that we will throw in at the end here, kind of a question and answer type thing. I know there's going to be a lot of questions. Guys, understand a lot of these changes. We understand that some of these changes will affect teams negatively. Some of them will affect teams positively. Some of these changes will just affect people, and they won't know how it's going to change them yet. But in the end, we're making the changes we're making for the betterment of the league long term. So that is, and I just said the word but
Get him!
but
We're banned. That's
it's all
it.
for the
That is
it's all for the
venomous.
long
Dream
term.
later, everyone.
It's all for the long term betterment of the community as a whole. So that's why the changes are coming, and we will hop into them now. So Cav, if you want to go ahead, take us away
Yeah,
here.
girl. Put it all on me.
Got it.
All right. So what we got here is just the remaining season 5 matches and events. You can just see here, as we already discussed, Harmony and Discord division finals are going to be going this Wednesday, and then you can see the Harmony final on Tuesday, Discord grand final on Wednesday. We're also going to be drafting, of course. Next podcast, that'll be the last podcast of the season, and then All Stars the following week. Pretty straightforward. Nothing really to discuss there. Just kind of wanted to put that out there. Okay, so season 5, we're pretty much done at this point. I mean, yes, we do have a few matches to come, but yep, we're going to go through our tournament structure. You can see our teams that survived. We kept a lot of Harmony teams, we kept a lot of Discord teams, and we did keep a lot of Transcendence teams, to be quite honest, more than I would have expected, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
But I do know it was a bumpy road in Trance tier, and it's tough. And what we've kind of determined is that, you know what, our tiers with the most engagement are the ones at the mid level. So our Harmony and Discord tiers, those are essentially our bread and butter tiers. Those are the ones that we've really built up, and we really feel that those ones are the ones that we should be focusing on the most. So if we go to our next little bit here. There we go. Actually, sorry, I should go back and talk about this. So yeah, this season we expanded to 24 teams in Discord and Harmony. We expanded Trance, but not really. We brought it up to kind of where we always wanted it to be at the 16 team. And that worked relatively well. But what we've found is that it's too much on the tier directors at the 24 level. So I'm not saying we won't go back to 24 at some point, because we are going to be cutting it down to 16 teams per tier. But if we do expand, we're going to need more administrative help, and that's something we just kind of figured out as we went along, and we were really grinding it out. So that was a bit of a sweet and sour kind of, or a bittersweet rather, thing on the expansion. Our charity event, over $3,600 raised. That's amazing. I can't really believe that, to be quite honest.
Right.
It was really something, and I'm hoping we can raise more in the future. And I'm really proud of the community for that. Individual growth. That's what this tournament's all about. We want people to grow. We want people to get better. We want people to have fun. And, that's we see that every season. And I'm glad that we can continue to see that happening season over season. I basically just went over that.
Yeah.
Where do we improve? We'll kind of get into that, but we can go to the next one. Yeah. So Harmony tier is going to remain the same.
Yep. I think we're all really happy with the Harmony tier.
It seems to be working quite well, so we're going to keep that. Discord tier, 2,800 to 3,500 with a 3,200 max average SR. Basically what our plan is we're going to condense our tiers down. We're going to be making it so that... Sorry, what was that?
Oh, keep going. You're good.
No, I thought you were saying something. So basically, that's fine. You can bring that up. But basically what we're doing is between all of our tiers, we're putting the cap at 4K. So, we want to focus more on those bread and butter tiers, and we want to bring Trance closer to those bread and butter tiers. And we think this is kind of the right way to go about doing it. So for better or for worse, this is what we're choosing, what we decided on as a group. And that's that. And again, 16 teams per tier is our plan. And I don't think you're going to see that expand, even if there is a lot of interest, at least not right now.
Yeah, and I know I've already gotten tons of questions from the Transcendence tier folks, and I do want to quickly say that obviously I understand this seriously impacts the Transcendence tier. Like, it's just a simple fact. Here's the thing, and just to be dead honest with you, the Trans tier as it sits right now just hasn't been working consistently. Seasons 4 was kind of a nightmare, to be dead honest with you. We had so many teams drop, the toxicity levels were really high. So many teams disbanded. The amount of roster issues that were ridiculous. Season 5 was not a whole lot better, just to be dead honest with you. We saw a total of 6 teams by the end of the season disband. We had to replace 3 of them throughout the season, which was a fiasco in its own right. Plus, one of those teams that replaced disbanded. So it just... It's just there's a ton of roster volatility when we're looking at Grandmaster teams, because a lot of those players are looking for the next big thing, and
it's the Dutch boy. Like, we're plugging a hole, then a new one sprouts out, and we're trying to plug that one. So, like, we're just getting into a situation where, we're looking at each other and we're struggling to find new teams. We're like running out, trying in mid-season. It's
and there's a lot of tournaments out there for GM players, right? There's a lot of community opens and weekend tournaments and stuff that other communities put together. There's a lot of competition out there for that, so there's plenty of places for you to go.
Right.
But shifting our focus down to the Masters level and below, that's where there's a need for tournaments.
Right. There's just not a whole lot of tournaments at that level. Now I know Yeah, and I know there's going to be a lot of questions about that, but again, we do
We'll
have
get there.
we have ways to get about that. So just hang in there, guys. Hold on for a few minutes. I'm already seeing my DMs fill up. So
Don't answer anything.
the trans tier,
We're
where's
gonna
my
answer them
tier?
on the
We'll answer
podcast.
your questions, I promise.
But wait, there's more.
Exactly. So just wait. There's more, guys. So, all right. And here's the big kicker right here, Cav.
Yep, season 6 start date, Feb 10, 2021.
There will be preseason tournaments in the prior 2 weeks prior to that, just so you guys know as well. So,
Yep.
That's good. I like the overlap in the tiers. I like the SR overlap.
So applications for season 6 are live now. There should be.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
I'll just put it all out there. So,
Yeah. Yeah, so basically the only thing I want to point out here is just in previous seasons we've put it so like you could reserve your team spot. Yeah.
Fixed.
So you could reserve your team spot. But we can't do that this season. Because of the SR changes. I don't think it's really gonna matter, but teams of good standing will be given preference. So as long as you're not a bunch of shitters, you're probably good.
Mm-hmm. True.
Yeah, team slots will be awarded late November, early December.
All right. Next.
So you're not forgotten, all you GM players. So we are planning on starting what we're going to be calling the Tranquility Open, which is going to be a double elimination tournament open to all teams in or outside of Tranquility. Logos still need to be acceptable quality because we still want to have a high quality cast. But yeah, all of our conduct rules apply, but none of the stipulations that we put on the lower tiers will apply. And we're going to be doing this after this offseason because we need to prepare and we need to recruit and put it out there. Hopefully we can muster up some type of prize pool.
Yeah.
But that's our goal throughout this season, is to really facilitate that, as well as obviously keep everything going. But that's kind of like our big project that we want to make work and do well.
Yeah, and I understand that's a long wait for a lot of the trans tier teams, but we want to do this right, and that's the problem. We don't just want to just jump into this without having a ton of prep into it. We want to do this right, and provide the best possible experience. To those of you who are on other teams, like if you're on a Transcendence tier team or a Discord tier team in season 6, you can play in the Tranquility Open. It's completely open. It's like an open division, basically.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is.
Yeah, so you will have an opportunity to play in the Tranquility Open if you desire, as a Harmony tier team. In theory, you might get stomped, but you can have fun and do it. Like it's legitimately a Tranquility Open division tournament. So, but we'll be covering that a lot more once we get closer to that time. In addition to this, we're also planning on doing some off-season events this off-season, some really short tournaments that'll again be open SR. We're planning on doing things like a GOATS tournament, things like that, just short, like 1 week type tournaments, just kind of some fun things that won't be casted, just to kind of keep the community going. So I know GOATS has come up. I've thought about doing some other stuff for funsies, but we'll visit that when we get there. So, all right. I think that's the whole gambit here for this, right? So
yeah, for that one, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Match sheets. Let's eat our vegetables, boys and girls. All right? Because most of you are actually pretty good, to be quite honest. It's I'd say 85% of the teams are, they do it, they take care of it, and I just go, mwah, that's great. But the other 15%, my God, right? And it really, it's an annoyance that we have to go back and basically look at all this stuff. And we don't want to hound you. We don't want to get on your butt, but we have to, because this is about maintaining competitive integrity of the tournament. So we got to do it. Like I said, eating your vegetables. So, like I said, we're going back to we're actually going to go back to team GMs and team captains responsible for filling out their own weekly sheet again. This past season, we did the away team. That didn't work at all. And I'll admit that was a miss. We're not going to accept your scores until this is filled out. So if you go, yeah, man, like we totally 4-0'd them and we kicked their butts, and woo! Wu-Tang, right? And then...
God, Kat, that reference is going over every Zoomer's head. I just want you to know.
But anyways, right? Until we see it on there, it doesn't count, and your sheet needs to be filled out properly. So if you don't want to comply with this or you miss this, we're going to start issuing demerits to teams, and that's going to be on your team leadership and your team. So just don't let it happen, and we're all good. But if it comes and at the end of the season, I'm looking at you, I'm like, you never filled out your sheet, 5 times or whatever it was, then guess what? Like, you're might be putting your team slot in jeopardy. And we might remove your GM or team captain status depending on if this keeps happening during the season. So just keep
don't make us chase you down. Names. Don't make us chase you down. We're nice people if you're nice to us.
That's right. Now you do me and I'll do you. Ringers. Okay. So ringers have been an issue for our tournament and something we've been looking to improve upon. Our window for ringer approval is going to expand up to 4 hours before match time. Obviously, it's in your best interest to have this done before the deadline, but we understand emergencies happen. If you pass the deadline, we'll have an automated sheet to submit ringers. But this should be your worst case scenario. Once confirmed on the sheet, a mod or admin will assign your role after you have completed this form. So you can go to anybody who's available, myself, any of the admins. Most people are going to be playing. Like there are a few admins and mods that probably won't be playing, like Jack, myself, whoever. We check the sheet. We're like, yeah, you're good to go. But then the tier director will have to look at that. If we go to the next slide there.
Yep.
So, right, a form will be created which will allow your team GM, team captain to submit screenshots for your players' SR for the past 3 seasons. Okay. And submit all the alts. It's on you at this point. If you're going through the automated process, it is on you, not us, you. So you need to make sure your P's and Q's are in line. And if you come back and you're like, oh, I didn't know you was a GM, well, you forfeit everything. Like, that's it. You're done. Like, you forfeit your match. And there's no questions. There's no appeal. There's no this, there's no that. There's no anything. It's on you to make sure that this is correct. Mm-hmm. Now, if you think that somebody might miss, you want to have somebody waiting in the wings, this is really a problem with those 6-person rosters. Guys, I'm telling you this right now. 6-person rosters are great if everybody shows up and there are no issues. That doesn't happen 100% of the time. Even if you have the greatest internet, you have this, that, the other thing, people will disconnect, people will lose power, whatever it is. Please run with at least 7. Try to.
Right.
Because it's in your best interest to do so. Now, I'm not going to tell you have to run 7, because if you want to run 6, that's fine. But just understand it's on you, and you need to make it work. So, anyways.
And we're not going to feel bad forcing you to forfeit your match. No offense.
Yeah,
we've made giving subs as easy as possible at this point.
Right.
And
literally everything we could do besides just saying, sub whatever. Like that's basically what we're doing here. So guys, it's on y'all to do your stuff. So
the other thing that we're sorry.
No, go ahead. No.
Sorry. I was just gonna say the other thing that we're also doing with ringers is we're actually gonna be doing a reaction roll with ringers. So if you are interested in being a ringer, you can get a pinged roll. People can look for you, in chat, and then you can go through the process. But it's going to be, if you're doing it mid-match, you're going to burn into your timeouts. It's just what it is.
Exactly. And same rules apply for ringers, guys. Those aren't changing. So, understand that if you're on a team, you can't be a ringer for another team. That's just never how things work. So, anyways, moving on.
Okay, so Harmony will remain as the Tuesday feature. Discord will remain as the Thursday feature. Transcendence. Wednesday features will start at 9 o'clock now. Okay? They're going to run a 30-minute delay, which will then start to air at 9:30. So as the matches start coming out from your scheduled Wednesday day for most people, you can jump onto the stream and chat and talk about whatever and hopefully get some viewership there. What we were finding is that when we were doing the pre-records on Wednesday and then we were airing them on Friday, we just didn't get great viewership. And we really, that's important for our growth. We need as many people as possible to view the stream, even if it's just in the background. Like, it only helps you if you view the stream when it's live. So it will help us do prize pools, more giveaways, you name it, all this good stuff. So that's really what we're all about. We want to make just kind of push all of that and make sure that, you know, we're showing you something and that, you know, you're engaged and, you know, you don't have to choose between going out on a Friday night. Well, not right now because of COVID, but, you know, going out on a Friday night or hanging out with your friends or watching the stream. So we felt like that was a good test that we're going to do, and we're going to see how it goes. I think it will do pretty well, to be quite honest, but that's up to you guys. And YouTube features, we did do a bunch of YouTube features. They're going to be less prevalent this season. We are kind of finding, you know, doing it off of replay codes was a bit wonky, as NPC alluded to earlier. So basically, you might still see them from time to time, but they're going to be more of a training ground for us, and allow us, you know, to get producers and casters, you know, some experience and see how they do and how they handle it in a real time game situation. So that's going to be what we're going to try and do this coming season for YouTube features.
All right.
Okay, so I have updated the rules channel, as Capital has already saw and started chatting about. So you can see all the changes in there. There's several changes, but nothing, you know, that we haven't already really discussed. Implemented a terms of service and a privacy policy. And this came about because of situations that happened over the season, which I won't go into, but people not understanding what we were trying to do when we had teams come in and submit their applications. We got into some questions of legality, and so we're just cleaning things up. We're trying to make it as ironclad as we can, so we can just be like, guess what? Go to the terms. Like, you don't want to be here. You agreed to the terms, especially if you signed up a team. So I'd encourage everybody to review those documents. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or another admin, and we can discuss it. But it's a lot of pretty standard stuff, to be quite honest. So that's that.
And a lot of people are like, God, this is a casual Overwatch tournament. Why do we need these things? When you deal with certain people, you need these things. Just saying. Yeah. Just saying. And I mean, this
people threaten to sue you.
Right.
You know,
this is, and you have to realize, like, this is a brand that Cav has built. Like, this is like a thing that needs to be protected. And that's why you put these things in place. So that's why they're there. And if you have questions, take a look at those docs or run them by Cav. This is the perfect place for them. So, all right. Moving on. Is that it? Nope.
No, I don't know.
Q&A.
Oh, hopefully we got some answers.
Cool.
I think we got some
I have some questions.
Yeah.
So our first question is from Dire Raven. It says, what happens if we have more than 16 Harmony teams that want to come back and compete from this current season, I'm assuming? Will they be cut based off of SR average? So this is basically, I think this applies to Discord tier as well, not trans, but if 16 or more teams that are playing this season want to come back, since we're dropping down the amount, what's the plan for them?
Okay, so what I would say to that is what you're going to see is we're expecting certain teams to move up.
Right.
Okay, we're expecting certain Harmony teams to go to Discord. We're expecting certain Discord teams to go to Trance. So with Trance, we're losing a bunch of teams. I already know this. So, and we might even lose more based on the SR limitations. So there's going to be space, but it might not be the exact team nucleus that you had before. I mean, that's kind of what it's going to boil down to. It might fit perfectly. It might not. Such is the nature of SR, right?
As a tier director, I can tell you that you will increase your chances of being accepted as a team if you have your ducks in a row at the beginning. If you have your full roster of 6. If you're one guy and his best friend who want to start a team, I'm probably not going to admit you over someone who has 6 players or 8 players ready to go that all fit the SR average and have their placement matches done, and everybody's got their ducks in a row come time for lock-in. Once all your players have done their placement matches on all the roles and everything's squared away, great. Boom. That's an easy ad for me. But if you come in and say, well, it's me and my friend, and we're going to recruit more, if I've got the space, I could try to squeeze you in. But to be honest, I'm going to prefer, GMs that have their ducks in a row already.
Right.
So just have your team ready to go.
Yeah. As Harmony GM, I'm going to look at a lot of existing teams. How easy were they to deal with? Did
That's
I
true.
have a lot of really last minute issues? Did I have a lot of just overall, hey, I got my stuff, we're ready to go? Cool. Everybody on your entire team needs to do placements. Like, come on, man. We're all volunteers. And so as volunteers, we're going to look for the path of least resistance, people that have good standing in the community. They haven't been a headache for the admin or moderator team. They've been a good GM that's creating a team that's here to communicate and participate in the community. Again, we want to grow this community. If we have teams just sit there and don't say anything in any of the chats, just come play games and leave, and there's a team that plays games and interacts and it helps grow the community, we're going to lean towards that. We're looking to grow a community. This isn't just come here, play, and then leave. That's kind of why we changed transfer this year too.
Mhm.
So basically what you're saying is anyone who signs me will get a role because I have 1,500 pages of typing in Trank.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
right, if you want a good example of how why trans tiers change, this is a great example of why. So a lot of people look at participation. In Discord tier, the MVP in the All-Stars received, I believe, like 45 votes. In Harmony tier, the MVP received about the same, about 45, 50 votes. In Trance tier, it was 15. We received probably 20 unique voters. Like, I'm telling you, like, it just simply put, the amount of participation from Transcendence tier is basically null compared to the participation in Harmony and Discord. No offense to trans tier teams, like, we appreciate you being here, but this place doesn't mean a whole lot to you. We can tell that, and that's not something we want to put a ton of investment into during a full 4-month process from preseason to playoffs. When if you're not putting an investment into it, for us, it hurts us when we're trying to invest everything we can to make everything as polished and clean as possible. And in addition, condensing the tiers also just makes it easier for teams to make those jumps. Like, jumping from a 2,600 average team to a Masters level team like Discord, that's hard to do. Right. Like, you go from a high plat DPS to a freaking mid Masters DPS. That's hard to deal with. But now suddenly that jump is a lot easier for teams to make. So that's why we expect teams,
especially with the overlap that we put
in. The overlap.
Yeah, I love the overlap. The overlap's the best.
The
part.
overlap's
if you're a 2,900 player, you can go either way.
Right, it's there for a reason. You can move up, challenge yourself. You can move back and say, you know what, I'm not ready. I need more practice. I need to do this. That's your call. You have the option to do both, which is the greatest. This is the best thing. So, anyways, I kind of stole thunder there. So,
oh, good.
No, it's true though. Like, a lot of the trans tier teams, not all of them, because there's a lot of great people on a lot of those trans teams.
Absolutely.
And it's not like we're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Like, we want you to stick around. We want you to be a coach. We want you to play in the new trans tier if you're able to, either on a locked role or restricted role rather. But some teams aren't going to be able to do that, and unfortunately, we have to focus on like the core of the community, which is Harmony and Discord tier. We're gonna do the off-season tournament, and I think that's a nice thing to do for those high-level players, and also for everybody else as well. But it's kind of what we need to do, and we all, trust me, we discussed this ad nauseum, in admin chat, and we were going back and forth, and we were arguing this and we were arguing that, but at the end of the day, we all kind of agreed, like, this is kind of what we need to do, and it's the move we got to make.
Cool.
All right.
So I think that kind of answers the next one about why the cap at 4K for trans tier. We've already answered, are these changes going to be final? Yes.
Yes.
So here's one from Impers. If you play on a Harmony team, and I assume this also applies to Discord tier teams, can you ring for a higher tier?
Not if you are on the roster.
Yeah, if you're on a roster.
If you have been removed, then sure, you can play up as long as you're a free agent at the moment.
Yeah.
Ringer and team role do not exist together.
Yep. Cool. Okay. Also been answered, if a team has a 7-player roster, but one of the people can't make it, can you be a ringer? Can you get a ringer for the 7th person? No, you play with your 6.
You have to play with your 6, even if they're role locked and somehow you can't make a 2-2-2 roster. That's on you for role locking your players that much.
Yep.
Cool. Next, we had a couple about the off-rolling 500 SR locking rule staying the same. If we didn't list that something was changing, it is going to stay the same going into next season.
Yes.
If we have another one
for the
about,
most part, there might be something in there that I probably didn't mention that is changing, but
I don't think if it does change, we'll bring it up another time. If a team is coming into a new tier, but is associated with a team that is already established or accepted into other tiers, will they receive preferential treatment? So does an org get preferential treatment, say establishing a Discord tier team if they have a Harmony and Trans?
Good standing?
Yeah. If you've got your ducks in a row, if you've got your players, sure.
Exactly what MPC said. If you got it, your ducks in a row, we know who you are. Like, that's half the battle. Like, we'll take somebody from the community before we'll take somebody from outside the community.
It's a case by case thing too. Like, it's just if you've shown like I can handle my shit, I'm not having to be hounded upon every week to do things. My team understands the rules. I understand the rules. Like, we're gonna be all aboard letting you expand. Like, that's great, but you also have to understand like that's not gonna apply for every single team in the community. If they wanted to create a team in another tier, we might just say no, just based on the fact that we didn't have that good experience with you this season. Right. So just worth mentioning, guys.
Yeah. So other than that, I think most of them have been answered so far. We had a question about console account caps. That's on a situation by situation basis. We don't normally have a lock on console accounts, but I assume there will be certain situations where someone is like top 500 on console, and we're like, okay.
There was situations this season where we did
situational.
Yes, it's extremely situational. So we don't
by year.
Yes, it's all by year on that. So, other things, by the way, like toxicity rules, all still the same. Those aren't changing. Those aren't going away. I know some of you guys are like, oh, but I want a tea bag. I get it, guys. Guess what? There's a lot of other tournaments out there who don't give a crap about toxicity. You can go play in those. And I salute you on the way out, guys. Like, no offense, but we do things a little different here because it's what we want to do.
It's a place where you can be happy. And that's what we want for you.
Right.
I want you to be happy somewhere else.
And it's not about, like, guys, it's not about, most people don't give a crap about teabagging. Like, I'm being real here. Like, like, most people do not care. But guess what? What happens is it's bad mannering, it's poor sportsmanship. That's what the problem is.
Right.
And then it just escalates.
Right.
It just escalates and creates problems. So guess what? If we want to try and have a fair and fun tournament, we got to get rid of that. It's and that's from season 1.
Right.
Yeah, I think season 1. So like
4 or some shit.
Yeah. So it ain't going anywhere. Like,
Like, and like Cav said, we understand that like 90 to 99% of the time, it's not going to mean anything. Like, you might just have a laugh at it, like whatever. But those times where it does mean something and it does frustrate people and create drama, that's what we're trying to avoid. And you know what? If you're unhappy with it, blame the 1 or 2% people who are toxic assholes who ruin things for everybody. Just going to be honest about that.
Well, remember the entire reason for founding this community was to get out of comp Overwatch because it was so damn toxic.
Right.
And like that's basically one of our core underlying principles. So it's not changing.
We do.
There's quite a few players in Harmony tier specifically that they do placement matches only because they have to place, and then they never touch competitive again until the next season.
Right.
I do actually have one more question that I missed.
Yep.
From Dire Raven. What are we doing if this is a big if. What are we doing if Overwatch 2 drops during the next season?
Great.
And that's what my response was, because Overwatch 2 is a myth like Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster.
Right. It's a myth.
Yeah.
As of right now, I think we talked about it. As of right now, we are an Overwatch 1 community.
Right.
If it drops in mid-season,
We finished the season.
Well, if that's if we can, we finish the season the way the format works. But if they change things on us, we adjust on the fly.
Yeah, we have to adjust on the fly.
That's how it's gonna work.
Yeah. If the only difference is that they add a push mode, then we just don't use that in our tournament for the rest of the season, and then the next season starts and we include it. But as of right now,
either that or we bring it. Yeah, like we haven't really.
We bring it in as map 5.
Yeah, we might bring it in as like, there's a few ideas have been tossed around. Maybe, we might split push and assault or something like that. Or, so like this map pool, you get push maps. Next map pool, you get assault maps. Like something like that.
Okay, if we do away with
it's
PvP,
not
I'm
gonna
out.
exist because
just
it
saying.
doesn't exist.
So I have another question from Whitman.
No.
Obviously, there's no Trank meetup, but are we maybe doing something online? We're doing the open tournament.
We're doing stuff
pre-season?
online every day.
Yeah.
We are literally always online because that's how Discord and Overwatch works.
Yeah.
And if the world reopens, maybe we'll do meetups again someday.
We'll do meetups when
maybe
the world is not.
Yeah.
And if you want to hang out with me, I'll be doing the Tranquility Yule log. It's like a 20-hour stream. Sit by your fireplace. I'll
Are
be
you putting
there.
the catheter in for that?
With a mask on?
Yeah, I got the diapers and everything.
I'm gonna appear like Sirius Black in the fire.
Cut a hole in the
If
chair.
you think we're joking, we did do a Tranquility Yule log last season, and we will be doing one again.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. So, for those of you who don't know what Yule log is, just Google Overwatch Yule log on YouTube and have some fun. So
Yeah, it's great.
yeah, it's great. It's a good time. Good time. So, I don't see any other major questions coming in. If you have any questions, Cavalier is going to be a great resource for you guys. You can also contact the tier directors. The tier directors are unchanged as of right now until y'all force us out. Thug is going to do Harmony tier, NPC doing Discord tier, I'm doing Trance tier in their new forms. Hero pools, all my homies say hero pools, Needle, you know that. But yeah, the fire.
We're gonna tier directors are staying the same until the signal comes in. People of Resistance.
Yep. I think giveaway entries are done. So NPC, are you pulling for the drawing?
I need a random number generator, please. And our winner is Apathy 19.
Hey, congrats, Apathy. Winner of a t-shirt from the Tranquility store. We'll make sure that Cav gets a hold of you. Sam asking a good question. When will the updated rules be posted? They're already
They're
up.
already.
They're literally already
There's
there,
9
you
parallel
lazy bum.
universes ahead of you.
Jeez. They're already there. And Awesome Sauce asking, can I have a t-shirt? Yes, you can. You got to go to the Tranquility store and purchase it, but yes, you can.
Shop.spreadshirt.com/OWTranquility, $16.99.
True.
Sometimes we have sales.
$16.99?
Sometimes there's sales. You can get the
The,
cheap
the,
shirts
the
for
cheapest
$16.
one, I think, is $16.99.
Buying another
$16.99.
t-shirt.
Exactly. Paris will never be added back to the map pool. It's a terrible map. Anyways.
No, I love Paris.
No.
Get off my land undefeated on Paris.
All
You
right.
told me you'd take me to Paris.
Has Goma played Paris? Wait.
Really quick,
did.
guys. We're about done here.
Last season.
Reminder: All-Star Draft will take place next week. We'll be having the All-Star Drafts. The drafts will be done by the podcast analysts here for the Iris. We'll have all the podcast analysts be participating in that, drafting up some teams. We'll record those and we'll air them next week on the podcast. There's one last thing we have to go through, and I'm going to turn it over to Thug.
Hi, everybody. I'm Thug.
Girl.
How are you? First off, I'm heartbroken my Pogfish lost and I didn't get to talk about it. That's why I was gone last week. It was too much for my heart to handle. I had a small memorial. It was a friends and family thing, so I apologize I couldn't invite everybody. It was just plus COVID, you guys. It sucks. Also, this is gonna be this has been my last podcast. I'm taking a step back next season, and I want to thank everybody for showing up. If this has kind of been a brain baby that Cryptic actually created, and he threw it up in the air, and Yeti and I, beginning of season 2, caught it, and we've been kind of running with it since. And honestly, this is big ups to Yeti here. Yeti is the driving force. He is the damn engine of this thing. We're just here, and I'm just here to stare into the camera and say things. But I had a lot of fun. I had a ton of fun doing this. I will be back. Maybe some guest spots, most likely the season after. I just need to take a step back and kind of regain control of my life. I love all of you guys every single week. It's awesome seeing high 90s showing up for a bunch of idiots talking about tranquility. We never really thought it would get to this point, but I love you guys. I thank you so much. And one more time for the road. Pogfish.
There you go.
Well, I'm sad. Though, Thug, you've been doing this with me since season 2. I am so sad in a lot of ways. I know you need to take care of your own stuff, and I understand that, but it's a bummer, man. We've been doing this together. A beautiful friendship has blossomed because of it. So I'm a little misty-eyed about it. I'm not gonna lie. Dead honest with you. You'll be back. You'll be back.
He's still gonna be here.
Yeah,
He's still gonna be a
He's still
tier
gonna be
director.
around.
Yeah,
This is our thing. NPC, this is our thing. We've been doing this for so long together.
No, this is the thing, and I get it. But I'm just saying, it's not like he's gone forever. I still get to see him occasionally, and he'll be tier directing, and
You can simulate the experience by just adding him every time we go live on the podcast.
It's true.
Just to
Do like
aggravate him.
Pat Dimtree in the chat, please.
No.
No, I know. So no, thank you, Thug, for everything you've done. Hashtag thank you, Thug. From everybody on this one for all you've done here, guys. To everybody else, thank you so much for tuning in. Next week will be our last podcast of the season. Season 6 is almost over. We still have some great matches, great features.
Season 5, bro.
Season 5 is almost over. Season 6 is right around the corner. Yeti is 3 beers in. So, so I'm not trying to, drag this on at all, but there is one thing that I need to quickly show here, and I'm just going to bring it up on my other screen really quick because it's important, but just bring it back here to season 1, the old podcast duo, or season 2, the old duo.
Look at paneling.
Yeah. Look at the paneling, guys. Look at the wood paneling. I know. I look so.
They're children.
Back when they were happy.
Back when we were happy and not grizzled and awful.
Look how they're both smiling genuinely.
Yeah, it's just it feels so real. It feels so real.
Oh my god.
No, but I just had to show it off one last time to say to my
old wood paneling, Yeti's pipes, man.
Yep. My toilet pipe sitting right behind my head. Yep. Yeah, that is my toilet, mind you guys, just behind me, just so you know. So
yeah.
No.
An important note: Thug is retiring from the podcast. Emo Thug still on the table.
Yes, Emo Thug is still under consideration.
When he comes back, he's got to be Emo Thug.
Break it, hair back out.
All right, guys, we've drug this on long enough. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We'll see you guys next week on the Iris. Make sure to tune in Wednesday for your feature match. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Experience tranquility. Pass into the Iris.